Hello. Yeah, my name is Angela Sullivan. I'm in a little small town Commerce in here in the state of Georgia. And I want to talk to people, ladies and men alike, about bad relationships. Whether it's verbal domestic violence, mental domestic violence, either way, it's domestic violence. And I'm going to share an experience, and if I cry, I apologize. I'm really trying not to cry. But a lot of times we're in a domestic violence relationship and we don't realize it because maybe our partner doesn't hit us. Maybe it's just mental. And mental abuse, it is anywhere from being jealous, constantly putting us down, making us feel so little about ourselves. Um, and the longer that we stay and just hoping that it'll get better, maybe our partner says, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I was drinking." Um, and you know how I get, I say things I don't mean when I'm drinking, or I was mad. Everybody says things when they're mad. But the thing about it is, if they say it, they mean it. And if they're constantly saying it, then why would they say something so cruel to someone they claim they love? Anyways, my experience, I was in a relationship for 2 years. We would break up every 3 days, every week, every 2 weeks, maybe stay together a month and break up. And I never knew what I did wrong. I mean, I did everything for this man. Um, I loved him with all my heart. I bought this man a car. He has some health issues. I got him grants to take care of his health problems. I was there. I was his best friend. I was his everything. I changed a lot about me to please him. And it was getting to where I didn't even like the person I was becoming. He said I was getting too old to play with my children. My children are age 20, 17, 7, and 10. And, if I went outside to play basketball with them or chase or ride bikes, it would make him mad. Just everything I did, I was no good. I was stupid. I was a whore. We break up and we stayed broke up for about 3 or 4 months. And the third month we broke up, I started speaking with someone else. I was just talking to somebody. We get back together. Everything was fine. Had to get a TPO on him because he was threatening me and my children. He called me, gave me that charm. I'm sorry, baby. I'll never do it again. I want to make you happy. And so I took him back. 4 days after I dropped the TPO, he starts it again. Well, if you loved me, you wouldn't have been with nobody else, and you cheated on me. It made me feel like I was a cheater. But all in all, he was seeing someone else too, 2 days after we broke up. But, you know, it's not just men that do this to women. It is actually, men go through the same thing that we do. They just don't like to talk about it. It's, I guess, a macho thing. Don't want to admit that the woman got one over on them. I don't know. But men face domestic violence just as much or almost as much as women. I mean, domestic violence, both men and women are victims. And I'm going to tell you right now, the longer that you stay, the harder it is to get out of it. And I'm not going to say it gets better, but it will get easier. You got to look at the signs. If your partner is always accusing you of cheating, and you know in your heart you're not doing it, but he's constantly accusing you, checking your cell phone, checking your house phone caller ID, he could be insecure of his own self. Maybe he's the one doing the cheating. They say those that accuse is usually the ones doing it. All right. So I'm trying to make this video short. I didn't really want it to turn into 30 minutes or an hour. But there's so much to share, and I really don't want anybody to ever go through what I've been going through. I'm still facing it. Keeping pictures of that one that you love, a teddy bear that he give you, or maybe even a shirt that he spilled that drink on, or the shirt with his cologne on it that he give you to remember him by. Any kind of memorabilia, trash it, burn it, tear the pictures up, shred them, get rid of them. Yeah, you'll be like, oh my God, I don't have nothing to remember him by. But do you really want to remember somebody that maybe hit you or just talked so bad about you, made you feel so insecure? You know, we need to get back in a time to where we had morals and values. Sit down and think about what you want out of a man or a woman, what you want in a relationship. Do you want somebody that's going to belittle you all the time? And I hear a lot of people say, and I even say, when it's good, it's good. He makes me feel so secure. He makes me feel warm. But, all right, in a good relationship, there should be no but. Because even though he makes you feel good, even 80% of the time, that little feeling of feeling good, is it worth all them times when he gets mad? He makes you change everything about yourself. Maybe you have to walk on eggshells. Um, he just comes in after you practically raised your children, and all of a sudden he wants to change the way that you raise your kids. This particular man, I'll call it Frank, is his name. He pretty much tells me that my children don't belong in the living room, and the living room is for the adults. And they watch what the parents watch. They never have a choice. We're eating dinner, and we was all watching a movie while we're eating dinner. And also, I wasn't allowed to sit at the kitchen table with my kids. I had to sit on the couch beside him, and I mean, so close to where you couldn't put a toothpick in between us. But anyway, we're sitting there watching TV, and my son asked a question. Something happened in the movie. I don't even remember what, but he asked a question. Frank jumps up, throws his plate, hits my youngest son, and says, "You never stop talking," blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to repeat what he said, but just horrible words. Called all three of my boys. At the time, they were 15, 8, and 4. The baby was 4 or 5. And called them a pussy. Excuse my language. I really didn't want to use that. I hate that word. But he just jumped up when he threw the plate and he went outside. And I was we had only been dating 2 months then. And I was like, wow. So he come back in after about 3 hours, and he says, "Look, man, I shouldn't have said that, but you don't need to talk while we're watching a movie. You don't talk, you just sit there. If you've got to talk, you go outside and eat." The next day, he wrote me a letter telling me he loved me and said we need to end this, that he's afraid he's going to hurt me, even kill me. Still wasn't a high opener. A week later, another incident, we broke up for a couple weeks. He calls me, can't live without me, threatening to commit suicide. I'm the only woman for him, and put the charm on. You know, so many of our abusers, they're manipulating, they take our heart. And I'm here to tell y'all, the longer you stay in this relationship, it's hard to get out. It is so hard. And it hurts, and you feel like you can't live without this person. And right now, I feel like I can't live without Frank. But I'm going to be doing videos, and I'm going to try to do them every week. Hopefully, they'll get better and won't be so blurry. But I am new at this. But I hope that the people, I know there's so many people out there that need to hear this. I hope that my videos will help someone get out of a relationship, especially abusive physical ones. Because I'm telling you, the first sign is mental. If someone is mentally abusive, do the statistics. It's a 90% chance they will become physical. Check your partner out. You know, become friends, be best friends, get to know that person. So many times a day, people just quit dating. I mean, they be talking and talk on the phone, or maybe you meet on the internet, you meet at work, or even a store. And a date today is they come over, you grill out, which is all good. Or maybe my situation, I cook dinner and he come and eat dinner with the family. There was so many signs out there. Okay, I have a kitten and I have a litter box. He picks my litter box up and says the litter box has to go or me. I'm very clean. My litter box has a potpourri scent to it. I keep it clean. My kitten uses it one time and I'm scooping it out. I actually got my kitten from his niece. The parents was well groomed and very clean. But it's not just that. It's everything. It was everything. Nothing I ever did was good enough. Even this man told me, I mean, I had his whole family telling me he beat the hell out of his ex-wife for 18 years. Oh, if he beat her, he'll beat you. His ex-girlfriend left him after 3 years because he was physically abusive. These are signs. If someone has been married, no matter how long or how short, find out why they got divorced. And I'm not saying just because somebody's been married and divorced, okay, dump them, they're losers. Because so many people get married and later on they grow apart. That happens. And even there are situations when men have been abusive, women have been abusive in the past, and they seek help, they get counseling, and they are better people. But you just have to do your own research. See why this person didn't make it in his first or second or 3 or 4 marriages. Find out what kind of past experiences they have. Family background. I know that Frank's family background, I felt bad because his dad had beat his mom, and a lot of it was in the past, and I kept making up excuses for him. And I see I'm doing it now. That's no excuse. Because if a man or a woman really loves you, they're not going to call you things like stupid, bastard, dumb, whore, retard, dickhead. Nothing out of ugly. You know, yeah, you might fight. You're going to fight. Every healthy relationship fights. But it's how you fight. You know, you're not going to just belittle that person all the time. And you're going to say things that you regret. But it's not going to be every 3 days. It's not going to be every week. And when I said that mental abuse will turn physical, my relationship did turn physical. He never hit me, thank God. He almost did, but he has slammed me on the bed and held me down till I couldn't breathe, choked me, and even slammed me up against the wall. And my kids are my world. I love my kids with all my heart. And I started thinking, wow, by having this man in their life and me planning a wedding and planning to marry this man, what am I doing to my children? I'm showing my boys that it's okay. When your wife pisses you off, you can hit them because they know how much I love Frank. And they see this going on. And I'm showing my daughter, hey, the man loves you, you put up with it because the man is the head of the home. No, the man is supposed to be the head of the house, but it also states in the Bible, the man is the head of the house as long as he's living as he loves his wife and family as God so loved the world. And if a man is beating his wife and talking so down on her, that's not loving his wife like God loved the world, because God didn't do that to us. He sent his only child, his only son, down on this earth to die on the cross and be beaten to death for us. So that is not an abusive love. Jesus took so many beatings and died for each and every one of us. And that is a love that we can never get out of any man or any child. I'm telling you, the only way that I'm getting through this, I have a friend that's going through it with me, who I'm hoping she will be in some videos with me as well. But all my friends, family, what I have left, I know that they're right. The only one that's helping me through this is Jesus Christ and his love. And if you just wait and don't go out searching, because when we search for love, we forget about our goals, we forget about our morals, we forget about what we want in a partner, and we're tired of being lonely. And sometimes it's better to be lonely and alone than to be in a bad relationship, because it hurts. It hurts for the person that you love more than anything in your life, especially when this is your first love. It's constantly talking you down and wanting to change everything in your relationship. And you're like, hey, if you want to change everything about me, how can you be in love with me? I mean, I'm doing so wrong. What is it you love about me? You know, apparently they don't love you. They just love your company. You know, maybe it's sex. I don't know. Just you being around. Maybe they like just having you by your side. You make them look good. But looks are skin deep, because the finest person in the world can be the worst human being on the face of the earth. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. And I hope y'all comment. Tell me what I can do better. Comment your situation. Give me some ideas for the next video. But look, if you're in a situation, and whether you've been in it a day, a week, a month, or years, if you are in any kind of a bad situation, any violent domestic violence, physical, mental, sexual, please take a look at your situation. Offer your partner counseling, but while you're going through counseling, stay away. Because if this person really loves you and that person wants to be better for you, they will work on themselves. They will get counseling and then work on your relationship. Well, enough said. I'll see you next week. Please take care of you and think about this. Please let this video touch your heart. And even if you're not going through it, if you know somebody that is going through a bad situation, pass it on. Love you guys. Take care and may God bless. Till next time.